are going to discuss today the last part of a chart or graph description, which is conclusion writing. So hopefully you have written, or you tried writing an analysis part, and today we'll move to the last one, which is conclusion, and these are the 4 parts of a conclusion and graph description. So it starts with the explanation of the trends described in analysis. So whatever trends you mentioned in analysis, you don't explain them in analysis. You explain them in the conclusion. All right. The second one is the importance or purpose of the graph. How can you use this information? Who can use this information and stuff like that. This third one is prediction for the future, if possible. And the fourth one is very important: suggestions, advice, and future research suggestions. So let's start with this. So you remember this little graph about organic and conventional vegetables, right? And in your analysis, you hopefully came up with 3 trends, which are these. Organic vegetables are overall more expensive than conventionally grown, right? It's clear from the graph. Then lettuce is the most expensive vegetable, and tomatoes are the cheapest. So these ones you have written in your analysis part. So now in the conclusion, you need to explain why it is this way. So for this reason, you need some background knowledge. So you might need to read about, online, Google it, and see what you can find. So this bar chart deals with organic and conventional vegetable price. If you remember, it's not clear here, but actually it shows the price of dollar per pound, right? And you need to think, what affects the price of vegetables? Like, how can people decide what price is given to each vegetable or type of vegetable, right? So what influences the price? Well, these are my answers. You can have different answers. Yeah. So I have written labor is how much you pay to people to do some manual work, right? Like sort vegetables, take care of them, collect them, and stuff like that. Soil, yeah, the area of soil, the area where you grow vegetables matters. It can be 1 meter square, it can be hundreds or thousands kilometers square. Fertilizers, yeah, different vegetables need different types of fertilizers and amounts. Pesticides, to kill pests, right? Also, different amounts needed, which affects the price. And transportation is very important because you need to transport the vegetables from the field or a farm, or from any place else where you grow them to a market or a shop. And you need to pay for the petrol, for car service, maybe some customs fees, or something else. All right, so that all affects the price of vegetables. So what you need to think of is why organic vegetables are more expensive. What affects their price? Yeah, you need to do some reading and write an explanation why. Also, why is lettuce the most expensive? Like both organic and conventional lettuce. See, it's much more expensive than tomatoes. What is there that makes it more expensive, and what is there that makes tomatoes the cheapest? So these are the questions you need to write answers for. Moving on. So importance of the graph and the use of the graph and suggestions. Yeah, you need to think, who is this graph for? Who is this graph can be useful for? Who can benefit from the information in the graph? Well, I think, and it's my opinion, you can have something different I think it's useful for farmers to know, yeah, for business owners who have shops, supermarkets or something, grocery stores, and for the consumers, yeah, which ones to buy, because yeah, different consumers have different needs and different abilities, right? So you can write your own answers, of course. So when you write this part, you need to think who can use this information and how can they use it. Yeah, what is it that makes it useful for them, for farmers, for consumers, for business owners? So you need to explain why. Yeah, and also what can you suggest to these people? What can you suggest to farmers, to business owners, to consumers? Yeah, what advice can you give? The final part is predictions and future research. Yeah. So you look at the trends. Organic vegetables are more expensive than conventional. What will happen if the situation remains the same? What will happen if the price will continue to be like this, and why? What can be the consequences of this? How is the situation likely to change, and why? And what else can be investigated? What else can be explored? This is about the future research. What else? Yeah, maybe researchers can look at like some other types of conventional and organic vegetables, like what, potatoes, potatoes, peas, what, bananas, and other things, right? Other types of vegetables, or some other specific parts of the process can be looked at. Yeah, for example, the amount of fertilizers or pesticides or something like that. Yeah, separately. So these are the questions that you need to answer. And I suggest you revise these language points. It's very important that you talk about your opinion. Your opinion should be, of course, supported by some examples and some scientific facts. You need to be able to give advice, make suggestions, make predictions with different degrees of certainty. I know you love this part. And yeah, you might also compare. Yeah, you can say, okay, lettuce is much more expensive, so you need to know how to say that. This is all for now. Hopefully it's clear, more or less, and you feel free to ask any questions.